Number 10. Dave Chappelle. Dave Chappelle was a massive influence to comedians and comedy as a whole during the 1990s. He started doing stand-up comedy in nightclubs at the age of 14, and when he graduated high school, he moved to New York. It was in New York that Mr. Chappelle became well known as a rising young star and received his first acting role in the comedy Robin Hood Men in Tights. And since then has appeared in other popular comedies such as Half-Baked and was the lead in The Nutty Professor. After his success on the big screen, Dave Chappelle moved his sights to TV as he hosted his own sketch show on Comedy Central called The Chappelle Show. With the massive popularity of the show, fans soon became disruptive at his stand-up shows, which he described as ruining his life. Since his overwhelming success started to become a burden on his stand-up career, he left his show and stopped any and all performances, going completely off the radar. He has recently made a comeback with a Netflix special that is absolutely hilarious. We recommend that you definitely go check it out. Number 9. Jack Gleeson, King Joffrey. Playing the villain is never an easy job, as fans can potentially carry their hatred of the character from the show over into reality, and onto the actor who plays the character. Unfortunately, Jack Gleeson found that out the hard way. His first major role in Hollywood was of the antagonist King Joffrey in the HBO series Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones has a fan base of over 30 million viewers, most of which hated the sadistic and horrible whims of the cruel King Joffrey. After his Game of Thrones fame, he declared that he was going to retire from acting for reasons other than millions of people hating him. He started acting at the age of 8 and wants to move on with his life and earn an education. As he stated in an interview, he still loves acting, however he doesn't want to make a career out of it, and would rather just do it for fun. It is good to know that his role as King Joffrey did not poison his love for acting, but whether he admits it or not, it likely poisoned his would-be career. Number 8. Rick Moranis, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. Rick Moranis was considered one of the most popular Canadian-born comedic actors of his time, starring in such films like Ghostbusters 1 and 2, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, and Bob and Doug McKenzie. During the late 1980s and early 1990s, he was able to make a rather big name for himself as a lovable, nerdy, but good-hearted character. He was also involved in some TV shows, but is most recognizable as Bob McKenzie in the CTV comedy Bob and Doug McKenzie, which had a fairly large following. Rick was married to his wife Anne Moranis, who unfortunately died in 1991 due to breast cancer, leaving him a single parent to their 2 kids. It was for this reason that Mr. Moranis temporarily left Hollywood, stating that the traveling for the movies and raising his kids as a single parent was much too difficult. The short break turned into a long break, and he has since said he doesn't miss Hollywood at all, and as such decided not to go back. Today he is very picky about any form of theatrical appearance he is offered, and even turned down a cameo role in the all-female Ghostbuster movie. He states that he's not exactly retired yet, meaning that even though he has shrunk his career, it may not be completely gone. Number 7. Jonathan Taylor Thomas, Home Improvement. Jonathan Taylor Thomas may have a lot more importance to your life, more so your childhood than you think. He started acting at the age of 8 and performed in a handful of commercials to get introduced into the acting world. Later during 1990, Jonathan auditioned for a show and gave a good performance. He was then cast for the part of Randy Taylor in the show Home Improvement. The show ran for 8 years, which allowed Jonathan to make a name for himself, so much so that he was casted to voice Simba in Disney's The Lion King. After his role in The Lion King, he starred in a handful of other Disney movies such as Wild America and Tom and Huck. As Jonathan grew older, the appeal of acting vanished as he wanted to get an education instead. He graduated from Harvard in a double major of philosophy and history. He has since resurfaced, securing a role on Last Man Standing where he works with his past co-worker, Tim Allen. Number 6. Macaulay Culkin, Home Alone. Speaking of Home Alone, the movie sparked a career for what was one of the most popular child actors in America. Macaulay Culkin had the starring role in Home Alone and was widely loved as a child actor. His success with Home Alone paved the way to him starring in other movies as a child, such as its sequel Pagemaster and Richie Rich. However, after Richie Rich, Macaulay had a bit of a dry spell and did not appear in many significant movies. During that time, he married actress Rachel Miner while he was 18, and the couple divorced 2 years later, because Macaulay wanted to get back into acting. In 2004, he was arrested for drug possession charges and a rumored heroin addiction, which had a fairly negative effect on his career. Number 5. Joe Pesci. Success doesn't always come quickly for big-name actors. This is apparent for Joe Pesci as it took about 20 years for him to have any major success in his acting career. In 1976, Joe had a minor role in a movie called The Death Collector, which caught the attention of Robert De Niro. Robert liked Joe's performance and got him a role in the Martin Scorsese film Raging Bull, which finally launched his career. Joe Pesci was famous for being in gangster movies such as Goodfellas and Casino, as well as less serious roles like the main antagonist in Home Alone and Home Alone 2. He also had smaller roles in the popular movies Lethal Weapon 3 and 4. However, acting was not Joe's final destination. In 1999, he announced his retirement from acting to pursue a musical career, with the release of his own album. He has made some small appearances since then, like in Martin Scorsese's The Irishman, but he prefers to stay out of the spotlight. Number 4. Cary Grant. The golden ages of Hollywood happened between the late 1920s and the early 1960s, which means movies at that time were at their most popular and experienced the most growth and innovation. Even during Hollywood's most extraordinary time, Cary Grant still managed to be one of the most popular male actors. He started at the age of 14 when he dropped out of high school to perform with a troupe of comedians in England. In 1920, he left England to perform in a Broadway show in the United States, which was performed a total of 465 times. The popularity of the performance gained the attention of Hollywood, and in 1933, Cary had his first role in She Done Him Wrong. Cary continued to star in many popular movies, such as Bringing Up Baby, North by Northwest, and The Philadelphia Story until the 1960s. While still receiving offers for large movies, Cary retired at the age of 62, after his daughter Jennifer was born. He never returned to the big screen and turned down many high-paying roles for a much-desired comeback. Cary Grant later died at the age of 82. Number 3. Frankie Muniz. As an actor, Frankie Muniz is best known for being in the middle. The aptly named show Malcolm in the Middle began in 2000 and starred Frankie Muniz, and also launched the career of Bryan Cranston, or if you're familiar with Breaking Bad, Mr. White. After being the star of the show, Frankie set his sights on the big screen, as he starred in several big hit movies, such as Big Fat Liar and Agent Cody Banks 1 and 2. Frankie then decided to move away from acting and started a career as a professional race car driver in 2006. He had some success on the track, ranking 22nd in the Champ Car Atlantic Series, and even won the sportsmanship-based Jovi Marcello Award, which he was given by other drivers. He has since joined and left an alternative rock band called Kingsfoil, and has little to no involvement in Hollywood. Number 2. The Sprouse Twins. If you grew up during the 2000s and had even a little access to the Disney Channel, then you know who the Sprouse Twins are. Dylan and Cole Sprouse are well known for their roles of Zack and Cody on The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody, and its later continuation, The Sweet Life on Deck. The two started acting as babies, where they appeared in diaper ads. As they got older, they moved to the big screen, but since they were twins, they generally shared roles such as Adam Sandler's son in his movie Big Daddy, where they were nominated for multiple awards. After a few more movies with them sharing a role, they received their own roles on the show Sweet Life of Zack and Cody, which skyrocketed their success. However, after the sequel to Sweet Life on Deck, Dylan and Cole took a break from acting and went to college. Dylan for video game design and Cole for archaeology. Dylan now manages a restaurant in New York and is part of a team developing a game called Reborn. Cole has laid low until only recently, as he has a role in Netflix's new series called Riverdale. Even though it will be hard for these two to regain the popularity they once had, they are still living the sweet life. Number 1. Sean Connery. The name is Bond, James Bond, is one of cinema's most popular and recognizable lines ever spoken, and that is partially thanks to Sean Connery. Before acting, Sean Connery had many odd jobs such as milkman, a model, a bodybuilder, a coffin polisher, as well as a position in the Royal Navy, which was short-lived due to medical reasons. His choice to become an actor was at the cost of his possibly promising football career. No Road Back was his first major role, which was followed by Macbeth, as well as some other work on various TV shows. His breakthrough role was as the original Bond, which he played in 7 films. After Bond, Sean starred in many popular and notable movies, like Indiana Jones, The Last Crusade, The Hunt for Red October, The Rock, and The Untouchables. He was even voted Sexiest Man of the Century by People magazine in 1999. His last role was in 2003 in The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, and at the age of 73 announced his retirement in film. It was later discovered that he was bitter about only receiving old man roles, and not the youthful and romantic roles that he wanted. Even though Hollywood has forgotten, we will never forget your sexiness, Sean Connery. Like the video, comment down below what you thought, and of course, subscribe to the channel.